researching emotions from an interdisciplinary psychology, philosophy, neuroscience, kind of trying to integrate it all together. And the perspective that I've developed is focusing in part on the bodily changes that seem at least to go with emotions, but I want to argue that they're at least partial constituents of the emotions themselves. Different people have taken emotions to be different types of things. Some people think that emotions are like perceptions. Some people think that emotions are like feelings. Some people think that emotions are like judgments. I think that those are all mistaken because they're, well, in most cases, they're overly cognitive. I think that they don't focus enough on the bodily changes that we undergo during emotional episodes and the effects that those bodily changes have on our motivations. Because I think that we should identify emotions by whatever it is that causes us motivationally to be different during the stretch of time that we're angry or sad or afraid. And I think that the body plays a critical role in that. So the traditional view is you see something that makes you angry, which causes your heart to race or your blood to boil. Another view says you see something that makes your blood boil, and it is your blood boiling that is your anger. So my view is more on the maybe slightly counterintuitive second type of view. I think that you see something, you interpret it as perhaps an offense against you or a wrong, and then that causes certain physiological changes involving your heart, your blood pressure, your muscles, and those changes are your emotions or are at least constituents of your emotions. It can be interesting, you know, when I go through my own emotional episodes, as we all do, to think, okay, what is it that tells me that I'm in an emotion? How do I know that I'm in one emotion rather than another? You know, how is this emotion that I'm in influencing me? Is it influencing me in my response to the thing that caused the emotion, or is it influencing me in a broader way, which I argue that emotions don't have targeted effects, that emotions actually influence us with regard to whole classes of things. So I don't want to rely as a theorist too much on my own first person, you know, anecdotes, but it's certainly interesting for me to observe my own case. One of my chapters in my dissertation is that I don't think that emotions are about particular things. I think particular things cause us to enter into emotional states, but I think once we're angry or sad or afraid or whatever, that is going to have a fairly global effect on how we respond to the world. And I think that that can be helpful in terms of how we look at our own responses to things and how we look at our own emotional responses in particular and see, you know, why is it that we are, that our behavior is changing, that our responses to people change in certain ways when we have an emotion, and it, you know, might ideally help people be a little bit more reflective. Sorry, could you repeat the question?